Turn me up on my headphones. Yeah, just a little bit clearer. I'm in the booth. I'm feeling it. I'm ready. It's your boy. Welcome to the show and thank you for tuning in. Your host Tyler and Richard, let the ruckus begin. Whether you like Valleys or Nikes or caffeine or Adderall, all the homies press play, allow your minds to be freed. So come on, wired and wondering, high, something like dopamine, caffeinated fiends. Oh, explore the galaxy, save the memories, bring in the cheddar cheese now. What, wired and wondering, high, something like dopamine, caffeinated fiends. Oh, explore the galaxy, save the memories, bring in the cheddar cheese now. Wired and wondering.
Another hour. It's been too long, bro. Like when we went out to go get cigars, it's funny because you texted me and I was like, dude, we need to do the podcast. I was literally gonna text you in like an hour, be like, hey, when do you get off work? Because we need to fucking do this.
Yeah, it's been a while. Life gets in the way. I mean, you already know.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But today I was productive. I woke up early, my off day.
I was I've been up since like 5, I think.
Yeah. Went to the college to get my classes in order and whatnot, and then I was like, I went home and I was like, what was I gonna do? I told my dad that I had stuff to do. That's right. Call up you and like, hey, you know that podcast
that we're supposed to do that we haven't done in like 6 weeks?
Because mostly me, I'm ready. Let's do it.
I was like, me too, bro. I mean, I've been lacking on even recording content just because like on my off days I was like, I just want to hang out with the homies and play video games or just like dissociate on my own, and it takes energy. Even like the difference between recording and streaming, like I still can't sit there and just play a video game and just like be mute. Like, why the fuck would anybody watch that? That's the whole point of gaming YouTube, is to like have commentary behind it, you know, to entertain. But no, it's been the whatchamacallit. I'm trying to think what happened in the last like 6 weeks, because I'm pretty sure that's the last time we actually did one.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's different because this is in the morning. We usually record at night, so I'm just thrown off. Like,
yeah, I know. I was like, do we drink? Do we not drink? Hey, listen, I'm not gonna.
I mean, if you need caffeine, I've got the hookup. I've got White Monsters. I don't have any cold Ghosts. I've got Jen on the Ghost like train now.
You got a White Monster?
Yeah. I drink White Monsters because I wasn't born with one.
I drink them because there's nothing better than watching a reel about drinking White Monsters and looking at yourself going,
yes.
Hold me now.
But no, she's.
Oh my god.
Right. I found Ghost when I was at Costco like a couple months ago, and I was like, I don't really feel like, because obviously I was like a sugar-free Rockstar kind of guy. It's like that's the early 2000s kid in me who was like grew up with Rockstar and was like, oh yeah, this is phenomenal. And then it just takes me back. But then I remember specifically when we were working together that Ramon would always get like a Ghost or a C4. And I was like, man, these always tasted so fucking good, but they're just so high in like caffeine content comparatively, which is like difference of like 40 milligrams. It's like, ooh,
Well, Ghost is actually allegedly, from a couple of people that I know, they told me that it's better for you.
So that's what I realized too, is when I would drink either White Monsters or like Rockstars or anything like that, because obviously I take it with my medication because it amplifies. I realized like a difference in my like brain activity, because it's like, oh yeah, it has something fucking in it that helps with, you know, it's like Canapure, carnitine, all the, you know, and natural caffeine, which I didn't know there was natural and synthetic caffeine. But but then I realized, I was like, damn, this is actually like better than drinking like a Rockstar or a Monster. I feel more like the caffeine's actually hitting, whereas like Rockstars or Monsters is like a steady climb where it's just like, hey, I'm here already with Ghost.
Yeah.
And so I started getting those, and obviously like the wife would always drink coffee. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just coffee, you're kind of limited and makes you have to shit. Like, so she woke up one morning and I was like, here, just like have one of these. Like, or she'd always come in, because obviously I'm up at like 4 to 5 o'clock before her, and she'd come in. I'd be sitting at my desk, have it on my desk, and she'd take a sip. Finally, I gave her one for like the day, and she's like, "Oh, this is amazing." Now she asked for me to like get them on my way home, or she's like, "Hey, can I steal a ghost?" I'm like, "Fuck, go for it."
The Welsh Ghost,
She just had that one this morning.
amazing.
She was like, no, it's. She said it was good. She enjoyed grape soda, but she was like, yeah, it's, she's like, it wouldn't be my first choice to grab like a grape drink, but it's enough.
It's just I don't know what it is. What about it? It smacks.
It does well because it doesn't like. I don't know if it's like the natural caffeine. There's just like no kind of like chemical type backing, and it doesn't feel like extra sugary, but it's like the synthetic fake
Yeah.
sugar that kind of backs it perfectly well.
Yeah.
Which like sadly because you heard Ghost got bought out, right?
By Dr Pepper, I think.
Yeah, and they lost the people who made like all their
They're
like the Swedish Fish, the Sour Patch
Yeah,
Kids, the
yeah.
Chips Ahoy way. Like
I'll
they
be
cut ties. I'm like,
I'll be honest. I was never a big fan of the Sour Patch Kid ones,
they were all right.
and I don't think I got the Swedish Fish one because I just associated the same as Sour Patch. I was like, I don't know.
The Swedish Fish one are actually really really good, but you have to know what you're getting into. Like if you've ever eaten Swedish Fish before,
I
like,
have.
yeah. Like you got to know what you're getting into.
It's
But
crazy how famous that became just because of iCarly. Just because of iCarly, it became that famous here.
yeah,
That's insane to me. I mean, it's no different than Idiocracy and the what are they called again?
Crocs.
Crocs, yeah.
That still blows my fucking mind. That the
But that's a candy from obviously a different country where
that got Americanized.
they got Americanized hardcore. Where Crocs was a company here in America that was
that the
something.
costume producer was just like, I want the ugliest looking
the
fucking piece of shit, the stupidest looking shoes that would never become a thing. It's like 10 years later, they're a fucking thing.
Thank you, white girls everywhere.
I told my dad to go watch the movie. I was like, it's funny because that movie's going from comedy to like documentary really quick.
Well, I mean, like, man, hey.
Well, and the funny thing is I didn't realize too when they filmed that they were filming it at the San Diego Convention Center.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't realize that until like I actually watched like when he's first like getting his tattoo and everything, like the not sure part and all that, all the tests.
Yeah.
That's at the San Diego Convention Center. I was like, and I looked, I was like, fuck no, I recognize that, like the big old half dome windows, like.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And going up the escalator, I'm like, I've been up that escalator, which I will.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I will say, like, I prefer that convention center over Vegas. For like multiple Twitch cons, like that's one of the two convention centers it's been in that like I've been to. San Diego just on top of it. Like, yes, Vegas was cool and big and Vegas style massive, but like, plus the Tesla tunnels were cool as fuck.
Oh yeah, those were sick.
But there's just like it flows better. I don't know if it's just because it's like more, like it's lengthier, I guess. Whereas when we were at the Vegas one, it was kind of just like this big old square.
Yeah, there wasn't like.
But I mean, I guess that's because it's multiple too.
I think the issue with you're right, where like when we went to Vegas, like after the first day, there wasn't like anything else to explore. And I'm not too sure if it was like because you said that there was more stuff in the San Diego Convention Center.
I feel like it was, and maybe it was just the layout of everything, because it just felt no. Because the San Diego Convention Center is like it spans a good long time, whereas like when we went to the Vegas one, it was
you enter
like a handful of entrances, whereas
there's
like
to the right there's everything, to the forward in front of you there was all the food places, and then to the left was like specific meeting rooms, Q&As and
yeah
stuff.
But then like San Diego, it's like the whole thing spans like half mile to a mile long, if
Yeah.
like maybe I may be exaggerating, but it's definitely a lot longer, and I feel like that just flows better.
Yeah, I need to go to the San Diego one. Unfortunately, I won't be able to this year, but I'll plan for next year and set that as a priority.
I already got my B&B, and it's fucking like it's so gross how expensive hotels are getting. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I mean San Diego is just a big tourist town, so it's gonna be insanely stupid.
But tell me why like a hotel room is like $300 a night,
Yeah.
but an Airbnb is like $500 for 4 days. So like 150 a night.
Because, well, one, nobody lives there, right? Nobody lives in the room that you're going to be going to. They freshly clean it. Obviously, they can't get rid of some certain stains that you need a light to see. Obviously, but you're there in a classy, nice hotel. You don't have to feel weirded out in your room. You know that there's nothing else in that room other than you and what you've put into it, right? You have that clarity that there's nobody else in this specific room. Nobody can get into this specific room unless they have the key, and that would be management, employees and whatnot. But even then, they can't get in if you have a sign in there, right? They're not allowed to unless you say that they can. Unless you're doing illegal activities.
I was like, it's just somebody who worked in a hotel and had keyed every single door on the premises. I could tell you damn sure I could have gotten to every single room if I wanted.
You could if you wanted to, but then if you've been found out, if you're doing that, you get fired.
Yeah,
so,
obviously.
Whereas like an Airbnb person, like I've stayed in like an Airbnb where it was a big house, nice big backyard that went into a creek, and a garage that looked like it was extended, and he had a bunch of rules that he had posted, which some of them we didn't follow. One day, I think towards the end, we saw him like watering the surrounding area of his house, and we're like, "There's no other car. Where'd he come from?" So like, I'm not sitting there watching him the whole time, but I'm paying attention to where he's going. He's going into the garage. So he stayed the whole couple nights in the garage that we were there. And it just feels weird. Like, I get it, it's your house. Like, I understand that you want to protect it, but if you're that, like, if you don't want to, if it's to the point where you do not want to leave your property for the people that are staying there to feel more comfortable because you're afraid of something to happen, then don't do Airbnb. I don't know, it felt weird.
I've seen a couple like that, like they live in like the granny unit in the back, or like, hey, you can have, because obviously the one I'm in is a detached like granny unit, like a mother-in-law unit.
Yeah.
So I'm on the property, their house, like I could go knock on their front door if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is like, I have nothing worth of valuable to steal. Cool, you're gonna get my clothes, maybe a couple chargers. Like my phone never really leaves my side.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna get any important electronics out of me. I'm not gonna bring anything of like life or death, importance.
Yeah.
But I understand, like, even when my parents came to visit, theirs was like an attached granny unit, but it was like the wall was plastered off, so like basically they just cut it off and it was down the street.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this, like, I'd pay $1,000 for this a month. Like, this is a nice little studio apartment, like bachelor studio apartment.
Yeah.
So I get having it like attached, because obviously they're paying your rent. If you say, because I'm paying what, $500 for this property on their land for a granny unit or whatever, and that's 4 days. Well, say they have somebody in there 30 days out of the month, even 20. Take away 10 days or whatever for in betweens and gaps where you don't get it booked.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, because if even if you do every weekend, that's still $2,000 a weekend. Pretty, again, if exaggerating, like longer weekends, 2 days, $1,000 a weekend, it's $4,000 a month. That's a mortgage payment.
Yeah.
The only thing is you have to go in, you have to clean it, but who says you have to clean it? You can always have a cleaner. Hey, I got guests, they're leaving on this day, come and clean it, I'll pay you whatever you think, $150 to clean this one room or whatever.
Yeah.
Or this tiny little studio.
Yeah.
Which is smart, because there's your fucking mortgage, but then again, risk reward, because then you have people who like probably fucking ruin the place.
Well, that's why they have like they could charge you if you destroy shit.
Yeah.
Like we went to Lake Tahoe. Is it Lake Tahoe? That's connected to California and Nevada. Yeah. We were staying on the California side, and then they had a nice house. Really, really nice. They had a pool table in the living room. One of the first bedrooms to the left had like a desks that raised up and down, and they had a lot of like unique stuff, and
Mhm.
they had a lot of room there, and they had like, if you break a glass, this is how much it's going to cost. If you break a plate, and it was a lot more than like what the actual. Or maybe it was nice stuff because I didn't really look at the plates. So I was like, oh, I saw how much like it was for.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. I don't want to even use.
Yeah,
that
I'm not
shit.
even gonna touch them.
Yeah, that's why we have plastic forks and plates and stuff. But um it was just like crazy like how much you would have to pay, and they could charge you that stuff. Like if you already paid your amount and you broke something and they find out that you broke something, they're going to charge you for it
Yeah, after the fact.
after the fact. And yeah, you can be like, oh, I'm going to go get a lawyer and try to like, but you've already gotten the contract in. So, and the contract states the rules and regulations to what's going on. So
Yeah.
there's that. Obviously, nobody wants to get their house trashed and even have to make someone pay for it. That's like absurd, but things happen.
Yeah. No, the house we had in Vegas was nice. Like that was
Yeah.
like, do I regret that? No, but also like it made me realize like I just need B&Bs that I'm gonna sleep at. I don't need like the one where people are gonna hang out and do all this shit. Like literally, the last time I was in San Diego, no, actually the last couple of times or whatever, it was a place to sleep. That was it. Nothing fucking special about it. If I wanted to relax, there was a TV, but like that's about it. I don't need pools and game rooms and all this shit because I'm going somewhere to experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thank God, at least that Airbnb was nice enough to hang out in because the Vegas TwitchCon fell flat on its face, and it sucks that was your first TwitchCon experience because it's San Diego's just better. It just, I don't know if it's just because it's right there on the gas lamp and it's way more walkable. And Vegas, it's like, woo, Vegas, the strip. It's like, I don't
see if I had one if I had a little bit more money for that trip, and on two, if I had more experience in Vegas, it would have been nicer. Now that I know how the strip is and certain places like to eat, certain places to go visit, and just look at the certain attractions, it's a lot more better than what I realized what it was. Since then, I've went to like a jousting like tournament-esque thing where you can eat and drink if you
medieval
want to.
times.
Medieval like dinner and like just watch essentially a play with actual horses and like hitting.
It's medieval times.
Yeah.
You're explaining medieval times. I've always wanted to go to one.
No,
There's
of course.
no real thing.
Yeah. So that was fun. The certain like I don't know, like the certain gambling things that I would want to do,
Mhm.
I found more stuff and I was able to like understand it better. And then just certain places like the Venetian, I think that's what it's called. That beautiful. I mean, I'm not buying anything, but just walking through the mall that they have there and the way the setting is, absolutely like badass. So there's more spots that I know of now that it would have made the trip a little bit more fun, because after, like I said, the first to second day, we could have went and done that stuff.
Yeah.
And it would have made the experience of Vegas a little bit more fruitful, I guess. And at least in that like scenario when we had nothing else to do. You know?
Yeah. Well, and then it's also the fucking desert, where it's like San Diego's the coast.
Yeah.
Weather's
that.
fat fucking different.
There's a huge difference in that. When is it's October, right?
It's literally, it coincides with when we were young.
Yeah.
It's like 17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, depending on when you're going, but again, that would be
it was
a shit ton of fucking money.
It's Sunday when we're going, and man.
Technically you could like, and you could see everything on like a Friday, but then that would be like, you'd be driving to San Diego, which is 6 hours. Then you'd be San Diego to Vegas, which is like 8.
Yeah.
If that, I don't even know. But if there was more, I'd be like, yeah, just fuck it, just like drive down with me, fly to fucking Vegas, and then just fly back.
Yeah. I don't know. The biggest issue would be just money. Just it depends on a lot of just different circumstances.
Like what obviously, because what happened in Vegas, like I'd rather go with somebody that like, if I have to go by myself, I have to go by myself. I've stayed in the B&B by myself. Yeah. There's a lot of people I can attach to the hip of.
Yeah.
Just because it's more fun that way.
Yeah.
But like having somebody there, like in Vegas, it was like you and Teak. We were hanging out all around, and obviously that was the first time I saw her. You know, having somebody from a different fucking country
Yeah.
come just hang out is
Shout out Teak.
great all in its own. And then of course the first time meeting Jackie in person. Obviously I'd hung out with Saf and Kit before, and then of course Venny. But like, it's the people that I want to go meet, and then walking around a lot. I always tell myself like, yeah, I'm gonna be more social, and then the fucking introvert comes out like, fuck, I just want to go to the people that I know. There is, and I'm never. A screen provides a lot of protection for interaction.
Yeah.
Whereas in person, it's like, okay, this is fucking awkward.
Well, not only that, but like it's the people that you're trying to talk to, you kind of like overthink it. At least I do, because it's like that person is. Let's say if it's a booth. Let's say if it's I don't know, maybe like some rock star people are there. I'm just throwing in hypotheticals because that's not the case. But like I'm gonna want to ask questions to the developers or whoever's there about the games that are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I go to ask them, I'm like, oh, they're having to deal with all these other people that are also here to ask questions, and they are desensitized to it already. They're probably annoyed because they've gotten the same question however many times. So it starts, you
start to feel like you don't want to be that asshole and like be the one that breaks them and get them all pissed off and break your vision that you have of them.
Yeah.
But it's cool like seeing those people, and like not only the people that you see online, but also like you said, the celebrities.
Yeah.
The stupidest shit like, oh, dude, that's Jake from State Farm. Like, shit like, oh, that's Zero from Holes.
Yeah, like I saw a streamer there, and I didn't say anything. I didn't like want to come up to them and talk to them.
It's like going to like a concert almost, where like you're just cool. It's cool to see them.
Yeah. To be honest, like I don't even follow them. I know of them.
Yeah.
I know their content. I'm not like. So to give it more information, it was an OnlyFans girl, but she also does content on the side. And I don't purchase anybody's OnlyFans. I've seen the content on the side.
Sure.
I don't.
Sure. No, I'm kidding.
Not
jokes.
Not that I like think anything below it, but that's what they want to do.
If I could sell my wiener for money, I would. I put wiener pictures out there for $20 a wiener.
Hey.
I
subscribe to that.
Anything to pay the fucking bills. I don't care. I'll sell pictures of my feet. I'll wear tidy whities for a week and send them to you for $20.
To me, the reason why I didn't even go up to them was like they weren't even talking to anybody. They weren't talking to anybody. They were just there on their phone.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel comfortable to like go up to them and be like, hey, I'm not really like one of your supporters or fans. I've seen your content. I think it's cool, and that's what I would have said and just left it at that.
Yeah, no, there are a couple that have like, it's cool to see them from a distance. You're like, oh, that's really cool. Like some you feel like you want to go up and meet, but then also like because the difference is you have them on this pedestal, whereas like when you're approaching them, you're just like you're another face to them.
Yeah.
And obviously it's like it's the celebrity portion of it. Like if you're gonna go meet anybody, regardless of who the fuck it is, whether it's like a sporting person, a streamer, a celebrity, like anybody, it's like. There's a difference. To them, you put them on this pedestal. Oh my god, I met fucking, or me like, oh, I met Joe Staley, and then for him, it's just like, oh, it's another fan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
like even if I were to see, we saw Zero. Like, if I were to have seen someone that I like, Markiplier or like Swagger Soul, someone I'm a deep fan for.
Yeah.
Even then, I either would just want a picture and be like, hey man, thanks for the content. Like, really appreciate it. And leave it at that. I just don't want to feel. I myself don't want to feel impersonal, as far as like not having a genuine conversation. I'm pretty sure that's the wrong word I'm trying to use, but I don't want it to feel ingenuous, and like look back after the fact and be like, man, I just felt like another person. Like, it didn't really matter, I'd rather like, I don't know.
There's not many people like I get what you're trying to say. You're like, they are, again, it's like meeting a movie star, a TV star. You're like, cool, you entertain me. Thank you for like what you made. Like I found entertainment in what you made, or like, you know, something.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a couple people that like I have been like, hey, look, you influenced me or you did this, like American Dad. Every fucking time I see him, like you want to talk about like the coolest internet personality out there, who's like, who doesn't put you like that. Like that's why I will always hang out around him, or like that's why
Yeah.
people actively go seek him out, because there are some people where you'll meet and they're just like, oh yeah, hi, thanks. You know, it's like he actually gives a fuck about every single person that like has ever even been in the stream, like once, twice, interacted with, like nothing. Like you don't have to do shit.
Yeah.
And he'll like recognize you, like even to the point where you meet him, or like, you know, you've hung out with him or interacted with him. Cause even last time in San Diego last year, like obviously I try to find him because I like to see him every year. It's almost a goddamn ritual now to go find AD. But even after the fact, we're out in the gas lamp at a bar called Happy Days, and I'm just with a group of other people that like I just, you know, a friend of a friend of a friend, and we're all just grouped together now cruising the gas lamp, and he's at the bar.
Yeah.
You know, and he comes up to me, he goes, "Hey man, let's go get a drink." Like he actually gives a shit about everybody. And
yeah, when we saw him in Vegas, he had I forgot who, I think it was
Teak, and Teak wanted me to go grab him because again,
and he recognized the name. He immediately was asking like personal questions. I'm pretty sure I can't remember exactly what he was asking, but he was like, "Oh, how's this person?" And and
he actually like.
So it was different for me to see that. Like I would rather have an interaction with someone if they were like, you know, that famous, and like just like a normal human conversation, not like I'm a huge fan. Thank you for everything you've done. And it's not like I don't want to give thanks or anything like that, but it's like it just seems so like the next person is gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
The following person, everybody else he's talked to has said the same thing. I'd rather just be a little bit more personal. Like I watched a video of this girl that was talking about how she knew Chester Bennington, and like, and she knew him because she cut his hair, and she didn't know who he was, who he played for, or even that he made music. And she talked to him like he was a normal person. Everybody in the hair salon that he was going to was like, "Don't you know who that is?" And then he was like, "Please don't say anything. Leave the way it is." And she's like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't care. It doesn't matter." And they had genuine conversation, acted like two genuine people. And he would always go to her to get his haircut. That's the type of conversation that I want. I want to be genuine with someone. I don't want to like sit there and like throw praises at them, and to them they're already desensitized from years of people going like, thank you so much, putting them on this high pedestal. They're just another human being.
Yeah.
And most people that are not narcissistic want it to be treated like that.
Well, there was the famous outdoor dude or whatever that just retired? Like he retired because he's like, I can't live a normal life, which is like, partially you do this stuff because like you enjoy it, and that's what I always like tell people. I forget who, Jalen at work, he was like, yeah man, I want to start streaming, how do I set up? I go, why do you want to start streaming? He goes, oh, because I can make money off. I'm like, wrong. No. He goes, why? I was like, because that shouldn't be your motive to do it. And everyone who I always say, I was like, that should not be your primary motivation. A lot of the best streamers, yeah, cool, they make money off it, but they didn't start it with the intent to make money off it. It started off as, hey, you know what? I want to make people happy. Or, hey, I want to have genuine connection because I struggle with human interaction in real life. Or, hey, you know, I want to see, you know, a lot of my friends tell me I'm funny. Let's see what the internet thinks. I'm going to start doing this. Or, hey, I have this knowledge that I want to spread, or this anything I want to spread.
I mean, look at PewDiePie. That's like one of the best examples.
Yeah, and then it can transition into that, or even something as simple as like, I want to do this because it supports my mental health and stops me from having bad thoughts, or allows me to disconnect from the real world, which sucks ass.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes this big old giant thing, and there are people, and there are reasons why people wear masks or have faceless content, because they want to have a normal life and not have them stop like, oh my god, you're PewDiePie. Like,
Yeah,
But
obviously,
then,
like Survivor Souls being one of the more like popular ones, where he's. I mean, I don't know if he's revealed his face yet. I don't think he has. He might have. I'm not too sure. I can't remember.
but I mean, even still, there's a sharp decline when you have all this faceless content, and then people like, do a face reveal, do a face reveal, and you do it, and it's nothing people expected, and you drop off.
Yeah, I had. There was a YouTube. His name is Joy Boy Theorist, or just Joy Boy Theories or whatever. I was following him for a long time, and he would do faceless content, and his content was. I thought it was good for like how he reflected on the chapters. Um, his content with actually putting in theories was a little too like I guess he just wanted certain ways to go with the story that he thought that would be that he thought that would make the story better, where the author goes different from what he had would say. And I kind of got tired of like listening to his theories just because it felt like really pushy on like what he wanted the story to be. But he had done a couple of like streams where he face revealed, and honestly, the biggest thing was that his voice and faceless content was much more better than his live voice. So I don't know if he says that he never edited his voice. He never used something where it affects his voice, but it was drastic comparatively to how he sounded. And he also admitted that this content when he does face stuff isn't as good.
Yeah. Well, even if you look at like certain people who were so big, like you heard of Corpse?
Yeah.
Super deep voice. You're like, everyone was like, oh my God, he's got this deep, like daddy voice, you know?
Yeah.
The panty wetter voice. And then like his face gets leaked. Everyone's like, ew, that's what he looks like. It's like, that's why they don't want to do this, because everyone's so goddamn shallow.
Oh yeah.
And again, everyone's going to sound better on the internet.
Yeah.
You can edit, even if you don't edit it.
Certain microphones pick up like
we sound better on the internet than in real life.
That's another thing where I hate the way I sound. So when I go and edit my own voice, I'm so nitpicky.
That's
about
a given
what I
though.
say.
That's honestly that I hate it. I hate my voice. It's been 10 years for me. I still hate when I hear my voice. I'm like, ugh. And I still get like, even when the wife is sitting next to me and like I can hear her watching like a video or a TikTok I did, I'm like, oh God, like I'm embarrassed almost. I'm like, oh God, or when people bring it up at work, cringed. I feel kind of cringe, but I'm like, no, I need to be proud of my work. Like I put this out for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
But
if you're editing and like doing all the things that you're doing, you should feel proud. When I was doing it, I was doing it shallowly. I wasn't like really going in there and putting in the work. So I felt even more embarrassed by it.
And that's why a lot of the time too, and I'll tell people, I was like, it's not as simple as just like, I'll play video games for 2 to 4 hours and that's it. That's not a thing anymore. Maybe when I started 10 or so years ago, that usually was it. Entertain the people, just like a TV show for a couple hours. I'm good, I'm done. It got so bad during COVID because everyone figured out they could do it, that now it's just so saturated. You need to not only be different in a certain way, but you need to post it on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts. You need to edit your videos a certain way. Your thumbnail has to be catchy. Your title has to be catchy, because if you're playing, say you're playing the new Doom game, cool, that's fun as shit, and you're having the time of your life, and you're recording the best content. You feel like you're talking the whole time, you're doing all this, cool. You and thousands of other people are playing the exact same game. What differentiates you from somebody else doing it that is a 30-something-year-old guy who lives in California? Because we can go even deeper. There's somebody who's doing the same exact shit you are, sounds close to similar, looks similar, has the same catch or whatever, and you get 100 views, he gets 20,000.
Yeah.
What's he doing different? Well, he's taking his content and he's chopping it down, putting it on YouTube Shorts, putting it on TikTok, engaging with his community, all this stuff. And it's just so much now, which is what I told Jalen. I was like, first off, doing it for money is wrong. That you'll be seen through so instantly.
Well, not only that, but it's almost like when people say, hey, if you're going to go to Vegas and you want to win money, you're going to lose.
Yeah, you're going to fucking lose.
Go in there with the intention of using this money for fun, and you don't need it anymore, you're essentially just throwing it away. Because if you go in there trying to win, you're always gonna get disappointed and you're always gonna hate it. If you go in there with the intention that you have extra money to lose it, and if you win, hey, that's up to you on what if you want to run away or not. So I get that. I understand that.
It's doable to do it, and on an adult schedule, which we have, you have to find that time off, which is why I made that switch from streaming to video recording
I
to
think-
non-live content. If I want to do live content, obviously I have days off to do that or time
Yeah.
slots to do that. But say you have a regular 9 to 5, a Monday through Friday 9 to 5, you have a wife, girlfriend, whatever that you spend the weekends with because you don't spend any time with during the week because difference in schedules, or you're 9 to 5, they're 9 to 5, and then you have 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then you're going to bed. You have 4 hours with them out of your 16-hour day or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, there's not much time for you to find that balance if your partner's not understanding of that too. Like, it's still 15 years into our relationship. It's still a point of like, hey, make it a point to spend time with each other, at least occupying the same space. Because even though we're still in the house, like, I'm in here, she's in the other room.
Yeah.
She's doing what she enjoys, which is like, reading or do other stuff, and I'm doing what I enjoy, but we're in different areas, so there's that disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be understood that, like, this is my hobby, this is what makes me happy. Like, don't get me wrong, you make me happy as well, but like, two different worlds.
Yeah.
And these two worlds have to coexist.
Yeah.
And it's still, it'll always be it'll always be an issue, but you have to conscientiously make an effort to make it work. And even with timing, which is why like non-live content is better, because right now I've been up since 5 a.m. It's now noon almost. What's that? 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not gonna be home for another 4 hours, if that. So even after we're done doing this, I've still got 3 hours to go knock out, say, 2 hours worth of recording, which is anywhere from 2 to 4 episodes. Edit one within that 1 hour. Even when I'm up early, before work, after work, whatever, I have that time to take an hour to just edit it, and then I have that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I could spend that time to like I said, mass record for 8 hours. The next day I have 6 hours to edit it all, but my next day off and I've got 14, 15 episodes out. Cool. I took 2 days of my time to make 2 weeks worth of content, depending on your frequency.
Yeah.
Which I mean, one a day isn't bad.
Yeah.
But you just don't want to like put out shit content.
You want to put out what you think is the best, so you can catch as many people as you can.
Well, and then even if you use like a lot of our clips from us doing the podcast is like AI generated. Like, they will go and grab shit for me.
Yeah.
It'll take our hour-long video or whatever. It'll look for interesting points or everything and be like, hey, look, here's a minute-long clip of you guys talking about, something hilarious or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they got for AI, right?
I had this conversation with my dad when he was here, because we were talking about like AI artwork, AI automation, because the wife got a new car and there's a lot of technology, and then technology transitioned to like AI, and it's obviously I have a Tesla, there's a lot of technology in that. The wife has a newer Toyota, there's a lot of technology in that, to the point where there's even like a bougie rear view camera where you flip the fucking thing and it becomes a screen as opposed to a reflection.
Yeah.
AI is like, if you look at how quickly it went from like, there's the comparison is Will Smith eating spaghetti. There's a video
I know which one.
that first started, and it's like, God, this is so terrible. Like, you can tell this isn't fucking real.
Yeah.
This is just the most cursed looking thing ever. It barely looks like Will Smith. Looks like the spaghetti just, manifesting out of his fucking hands, and there's no mouth. And now it's like, you can't even fucking tell.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that video I showed you of us as turned into babies didn't look like fuck. Those are actually like little fucking
If it wasn't
bearded babies.
If it wasn't so HD, I would say,
Right?
Yeah.
But it's shit like that that makes it seem like and the shit education of younger generations is like people, I even say younger, like current generations, adults, have trouble distinguishing and will believe anything they see or read.
Yeah, my mom has a very like I'll send her a video, or I'll show her a video, and she'd be like, "And whose cat is that?" I'm like,
Hmm.
"It's just a video." Oh, it's not one of you. You don't know that cat, Mom? Just a random cat.
There's a million cats in the world, and this
There's
is just a funny one.
yeah, and it's like, in my head, I'm like, why is that your first initial question? Why is that like? Why can't you just enjoy the video and laugh at it? And then if you have questions, you know. But it's like a random profile, and I'm like, you should stop believing everything you see. Like, please,
Yeah.
I know you're up there in age, you're getting close to 70, but don't believe everything you see.
It starts to get to a point where it's taking over, and it like everything in the world, there's a good and a bad side of it.
How do you think we're like our generations are gonna be when they're older? Like, do you think that we're gonna have that slow like grasp of the new technology?
Like the decline that our parents have.
Yeah, because you got to remember, our generations were the first generations that technology was invented. Our generations were like, okay, technology is just coming in. Oh, this is cool stuff. We still like to do things old school in certain aspects. Like when I was a kid, right? Online multiplayer didn't really like make a big jump for me and my friends until like I want to say middle school.
Mhm.
That's when I saw when I like was like, oh, you guys are playing video games online with each other. Like,
Yeah,
that's cool.
like it didn't make the big hit until like Xbox 360, and that like
yeah, in that era.
that was the big switch. It was Halo and Gears of War and
And
all that shit.
so like I was still going out and riding bikes and skateboarding till I was in high school, and I started seeing the decline that like instead of going to do that with my friends, let's just hop on and play Black Ops 2. You know?
The lack of social in-person interaction.
Yeah. So having like that, like seeing that, and then I found out YouTube way later. I would go on YouTube and watch like certain clips that my friends told me to go watch.
Mhm.
I'd watch like anime clips. Like I remember watching so many like music video animated like
FMVs, bro.
FMVs, yeah, especially the Naruto versus Sasuke one, the first fight. I was watching that, and I was watching like Last Resort with it, or like some other like 3 Days Grace Riot, you know, just like other songs like that, and that's what I was watching. And then my friend's like, hey, he was watching a video, and I was like, oh, who's that? It was Markiplier. He was watching Markiplier. He was watching Dashi, and he was telling me about them, and I was like,
yeah,
what the fuck? That's what you can do. You can do that. That's cool.
Well, that's why I'll always tell everyone, like, you need to do it for a certain reason. And it's like, I've always said, like, I started doing it, which I wish I would have stuck back with it. There was a point, it was like 2007, when obviously YouTube was still like super fucking new. I couldn't really do much. Like, I was just recording, like, with a camera pointed at my fucking screen.
Yeah.
And I was using like Windows Movie Maker to edit it and upload it in like shitty fucking 260p. And I wish I would have just continued on with that account, because that would have just continued to snowball. But even still, 10 fucking years ago, God, not even longer. Fuck. No, yeah, about 10 years ago when I lost my job at the tire shop before I moved here. I was unemployed, and I would just like spend my days watching YouTube videos. Like, and I had like an Xbox. Obviously, I'd game, but it was like casual. You know, it's like I wasn't really deep into games. It was like the mainstream games. It was Call of Duties and fucking, Gears of War and Halo and just single player games and shit like that. Nothing like, hey, let me dive deep into all these other games. There was a guy who, his name was Lefty, is Lefty OX, and he would play DayZ. And I was like, dude, this game is phenomenal. He's hilarious. Like, his interactions in the game with other people is funny as fuck. And he's the one who actually like inspired me. Like, dude, I want to do that. I want to make people laugh the same way this guy made me laugh and engage in his content.
Exactly.
And watch all 30 episodes of this series, that each video is like 30 to 45 minutes long, where I'm just sitting here like, oh, what happens next? Or like, hey, let me wait till this next interaction.
Yeah.
And that's when I started. And obviously, like, I haven't been in the last 10 years like
as consistent.
as I could have been. Obviously, more recently when I could get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And it's ever since like a long time, Lefty has stopped making content, which is sad because like I hope to one day like maybe meet him like this motherfucker inspired me to do what I do and be where I'm at, and everything has led to even this.
Yeah, like I get what you mean by that because like obviously watching Markiplier and Dashi and PewDiePie in my first early days of YouTube, they were amazing, and those are like top guys in the past. And then I found like other like niche like YouTubers. I really like this guy named Bay Area Bugs who would like he do role play on GTA 5 online in servers with some guys, and I just thought they were fucking hilarious because I mean obviously playing D&D role play, these guys are like they're like doing cops and robbers essentially.
Yeah.
And it's so integral and so fun that like you kind of forget that it's like not that like they scripted all of it, but they're like going off the cuff with like the words that they're saying, like the phrases that they're using, like acting out who they are playing. And they're getting character sheets from you know the server admins, like okay, you can play this guy who goes and does you know chain smokes cigarettes in front of stores and drinks and loiters and you know just doing stupid crap like that. And then obviously, hey, you want to play the sheriff that patrols a small little town and gets mad at this guy who always loiters in the front and like just rage baiting each other.
Yeah,
because you're playing the game and you're trying to do exactly what it is that your character is doing. And it's just hilarious to me.
I think that's part of the allure too. Is like, I mean, we've played enough tabletop between D&D and Shadowrun to like the character development and the story is what keeps you like hooked and being able to go off the cuff. Because that's because when you said like D&D and GTA roleplay, like it clicked in my head. I was like, holy fuck! It's like that's the same kind of concept that you roll with because everything just happens. There's no like, there's a loose set of what can happen. But there's shit that just rolls off as just naturally happening.
Yeah, like here's a good example. The other day, in the last session that we played, we had we're doing a Star Wars campaign. We're working for a corpo right now just to make extra money while we are actively in wild space because we have too high of bounties to go into normal space. The Republic will come and kill us. So that's what we're at. These corpos were essentially using us, and the girl that was like giving us our missions, she was kind of like mid-tier in the food chain. I had flirted with her a little bit to try to get better deals out of her, just as my character goes, and essentially like the last couple times when we did missions, she'd come and collect the like what she needed to do for the data, what they were trying to accomplish, because we were attacking a separate corpo that they had like a partnership with. So essentially, like once we killed her, which our DM was not aware that we were gonna do that. That was just off the cuff.
Yeah.
Like our characters had like talked about it, like, yeah, it's starting to kind of get ridiculous on how she's acting. And we really wanted to find out what was going on in that place that we were attacking, that we had finished out and cleared everything out. So I ended up choking her and killing her with a force choke. And then her surrounding guards, which she didn't bring a strong force because she thought she, like the arrogance of how she was able to treat us, and she knew that we just wanted money, that we didn't really care all too much. She just set, you know, it's set up for her to fail.
Mm-hmm.
So I killed her. Everybody else killed. You know, cinematically, we just ended up killing the security squad, and then we found out what was going on. The DM after is like, dude, I didn't think you guys were gonna do that. Like, she thought that she had you guys under control with her thumb, and we find her data pad and found our records, our files, and essentially we had 2 more missions lined up, and she was going to then send us to the Republic essentially and get us captured and killed. So stuff like that, like obviously the DM's not going to initially plan that that's something that's going to happen, because obviously we were doing missions for them. We're making a lot of money, buying stuff from them. You know, it just wasn't like a plan. It's just hard to plan something.
Well,
for that.
and you can't like even going back to when I was DMing the Shadowrun shit, there was so much shit that just like I planned for like none of this shit to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't plan for Garrett's character to fuck up grabbing the pistol at all, like trying to grab it and it flying off the goddamn bus.
Yeah.
There was no character development for the fucking hobo at the burning trash can when you guys were trying to open up the fucking sewer grate
Yeah.
to go see Phoenix.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, like I'd never. There was so much shit that just evolved out of like that storytelling. Like I will tell you, there was no. I don't think we're ever gonna finish the story. So like I'll.
No, you know what?
Don't spoil it.
Don't spoil it.
Okay.
Because you never know.
There was also never a fucking. I forget the fucking bodyguard's name for Phoenix. There was never anything in the script about him whipping his fucking cock out and slapping it on the table just to intimidate Caleb's character.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah. Yeah. And
that was never a plan. I never wrote in this book. Bodyguard takes out 12-inch cock. Like,
yeah. There's just some things you can't plan for because you don't. One, you can't fathom like the way not only the characters are going to interact with the players, but also the players interacting with the characters.
Yeah.
So like, you can try to like, I guess, guide them to a point, but it's always just dependent on.
Yeah. No. And there's I think that's the greatest part of it. It's never like the interaction or like the fleshed out scenarios. It's what happens because of everyone's different like imagination.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, let's have this large barbarian woman just huck this tiny goblin across a fucking river.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, which is totally something that they could like. It's funny because that's something that barbarians have capabilities in.
Yeah.
Like, there's a barbarian that allows you to improvise like throw or strike with like a chair or a human being, and they can get proficiency on it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's totally within the realm of possibilities, but to actually do it, you don't want to like be an asshole to your team and then throw the guy and then he gets damaged, but at the same time, if he falls in the river, it looks like he can fucking fly down and then he's dead.
Yeah.
So which ones are you gonna go with? But like different things could have happened. It could have been that like if you guys made a good perception roll, or maybe you guys just like looked up, there are crystal lights, or not crystal lights, but like rocks that point down, and you could have got some rope and just, if you've done a good enough, like, I guess, what would that be, athletics or something, you get it hooked onto the the edge, and then now you can jump over the water without even touching it. So it's just, how creative can you be? Like, another thing that I found out that I should have been doing more is like ask questions. Like, so I gained the spell telekinesis, which allows me to lift up 2,500 pounds worth of like weight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I do that, that's what the spell is essentially for, or a person. But what I've used it for is like, I'm gonna lift up that big stone and smash somebody with it, which it does not say in the description of the spell that if you use that object, this is how much damage dice you go. Well, the DM has to roll off cuff with the damage dice, and then like essentially, since I'm in constant control of that object, I can pin something down into a wall. I can use it to be able for like us to like jump onto and then like move up. I could do so much with it. It just depends on the parameters of my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to ask questions about the surrounding area for certain things, just so you can use those things to your advantage, or give disadvantage to others depending on what you want to do. So a lot of it has to do with like, how can you make this a better scenario for yourself in order for you to succeed the most.
But I mean, again, that's what makes a lot of like GTA roleplay content good, because it's off the cuff, like you were saying, and you're only limited by your imagination. Obviously, there's like GTA roleplay. There's like rules. You can't just
You can't just go in there and start killing everyone.
right. Like there has to be like they
the
try to
admins are going to come in.
yeah they try to put some like human justification behind it, which shit like that does happen in real life, but it's not like I'm just going to go in there and start a fucking massacre and have there be repercussions. I mean, somehow escape into the world and then just continue living my fucking life.
Yeah, obviously, if you want to be like a hobo that goes around stabbing people in the dead of the night, and you're a hobo serial killer, that's something that you can do. But you're not going to like go and kill every person that's a character everywhere.
Yeah,
You're not going to be able to get away like that easily. It's going to be like, okay, cops are now being called out because someone got stabbed in this area. We're going to go, there's a description now, all this other stuff. And it's not like you can just transfer over to another character and be like, let's say it's you're playing as a Chinese hobo and you're going around killing people. And then now you're like, okay, I'm going to just switch over to a white guy that's like, that washes cars. It's not as simple as that. You can't do that. Obviously your login is this person right now, so I don't know. It's you can't play the game like those kind of games and expect to just win all the time. You have to, like, the part of the role playing is to take the consequences of your actions and then roll with them, obviously. So it's fun.
Well, and then there are those people who have made that, broke through that content glass ceiling to be able to make it beyond those like upper those upper levels,
those upper servers.
Because if you even watch, like you were talking about PewDiePie, it's like you watch that like meteoric rise, like going from his like starting content where it's like, dude, he's recording in like the fucking kitchen.
Yeah.
And same for anybody. Everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the fucking kitchen and then you move up to be the most subscribed YouTuber in the history of ever, and then you get passed by fucking some dude who just gives away money like it's air, and Mr. Beast, and like the transition from that too. He got famous for sitting there counting to like 1 million for like 24 hours straight, or however fucking long it took him, and now he just is a damn near billionaire from doing like challenges and giving away money and, hey, keep your hand on this car for as long as you can, or stand in the circle for whatever, basically having people do what he was doing when he started, but now capitalizing off that. Be like, hey, look, for every fucking, count as high as you can. However high you count, we'll give you that amount of money.
Yeah.
People will sit there for, 3-4 days just counting one by one by one by one with a camera in their face.
Yeah.
Or, hey, we're going to put everyone fucking in this circle for however long and try to torture you to get out, or incentivize you with, hey, if you can get this, then we'll give you a car, or, a laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's shit that he started out doing that now he's like, hey, I can have people do this and monetize off it and become, a billionaire off this stuff. And it's cool that you can get to that point, but that shouldn't be your goal from the start.
No.
His was just like, let me try to do this. Let me see if I can do this. And then it started snowballing, and PewDiePie's like, let me just start playing scary games as a skittish little, Swedish boy who yelps when he gets scared at amnesia.
Yeah.
And now to,
lives in Japan with
celebrity personality, and it's he's putting out content the same. No, not really. But again, if you make it to that point where you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, because you're living off the revenue of all your old stuff.
And that's the thing too, is you have people still going back. Because even still, when you get somewhere to like millions of views, people will go back like, let me see their older stuff, and they're still feeding views into those older ones because people. That was weird. People just want to see like, oh yeah, I remember this video. I watched him 10 years ago when he started, or whatever, and I remember this video. Let me go find that, and it's still there and it's still getting views. And if you got 100 million people watching you, or subscribe to you, however many are real, or even if 10% are real, I mean, that's, who cares?
Yeah,
The views speak for themselves as opposed to the subscribers.
Yeah.
But again, you could have that fall off, where you have people like being like, oh man, I know this guy for GTRP, and he goes and plays anything else, and it's just a steep drop.
Yeah.
Which is like the hardest thing to do, because you can grow really big in a niche and then go try to play something else. And I was like, yo, why aren't you playing this?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, like the other day I was contemplating like actually live streaming Marvel Rivals, and I thought to myself, I don't like the game to the point where I want to do that. Like I played Overwatch 1 and stopped because it just got too like sweaty. It's just a certain point where there's it's fun, and then everybody was like, hey, let's get on this game and see how good we can be. and it's so toxic. So when I play Marvel Rivals, I play for fun because Juan Carlos bought Baldur's Gate. He bought Monster Wilds on a whim because I told him it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
He loved the game, and he's like, I'm gonna cash in me purchasing this game for you to play Marvel Rivals is free. And I'm like, fuck, all right.
You're like, that's fair.
That's fair. So I started playing it. I'm like, this is actually not that bad. It's not terrible.
No, it really isn't.
But like I was enjoying it. I was like having fun, like just joking around with Juan Carlos and John, and then I'm like, I'm having fun with this. I can stream this. This will be, not that bad. And then I thought to myself, no, because if I start streaming it, I'm gonna not enjoy it as much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because I don't like streaming, but it's more of like I don't want to sit there and try to entertain when I'm trying to have fun playing a game.
That's what I've started to discover too. Is like there's so many games that'll be like, oh yeah, that looks great, and then my brain goes, that would be great for a video. And then I get to this point where I want to just play the game for fun, not have to sit there, talk and entertain and all this shit. But I'm like, but if I don't do that,
like Minecraft,
I'm gonna miss a fucking episode.
I can't play Minecraft and stream because I'm sitting there contemplating my next step or how I'm gonna do something or just what I want to do in that time. And I don't want to sit there and and yearn for the mines and strip for diamonds.
See, but that's where those games come in clutch, though, because there's no like linear progression.
Yeah.
Or I mean, like there is like some, but there's no like storyline.
That's true.
So like that's why certain like the games that I've been like playing just offline that if I wanted to record, I 100% could. Is like 7 Days to Die or now V Rising, which is like survival sandbox building type games where it's like. There is content and there is that niche where if I do want to record and put out videos, I can. But then there's so much more that is just mindless that I could do and not have to worry about. Like same thing with Foxhole. I could go stream that and I know I could get viewers. I can make videos and they'll get hundreds of thousands of views. That's fine. But then there also needs to be a point where I feel like I can just hop on, not say a whole lot, hang out with the homies, play the game, like don't really fucking care.
Yeah.
And I hate like story games at that point too, that like I want to continue playing, but it's like I need to be entertaining to do that. And then I'll just curtail myself like, fuck, okay, I can't continue to play because I'm going to get past, or I'm going to have something funny happen and I'll miss it because I won't be recording. Or I'm not going to have a genuine reaction to a part of the story because I already know it happened.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of games that are just sitting kind of untouched or halfway finished because I'm waiting for that energy to go ahead and start recording again. But also, like, I don't want to ruin the, content flow.
I get you. Like, I could have started doing Shadow of Mordor, stream, but I'm like, why would I do that? I'm just gonna sit there and make people scream at me because that's just what you do when you play Shadow of Mordor. You mess up the captains to where they're just screeching and they're not even making any words. There's one guy who was like named I think his name was like Rack the Tester or something like that, and then I disowned him or I dishonored him, and he came back as Rack the Maniac.
Yeah.
He's just like, instead of like, oh, Ranger, I'm gonna slaughter you and your whole family, doing the little animations that they do, he's just like, and it's like, yes, this is what I wanted, but at the same time, I'm like, is this what people want to watch? I don't think so. I don't think they want to see me interact and like to go through the story and like actually play the game instead of like just messing with the squads, you know?
It's more so of like, what do you think? And it comes down to like, to wrap up the whole like YouTube thing, it comes down to what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't be so focused content on what other people want to see. It's, if you have that thought, be like, you know what, this would be cool as fuck to record for, and here's, you know, 1, 2, and 3. Like, this is why.
Yeah.
And maybe you could, you know, make your own YouTube series like of that, just, you know, turning every captain in Shadow of Mordor into a blabbering idiot, into a fucking maniac, or, you know, fucking with captains in Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah. I could just do a series of just that. No, you're right.
Yeah, and you take that, and all you need to do, because captain fights last for like, depending on how many fucking people are around and how many you have to fight off and parry and do all this shit, it can take anywhere from a minute to 10 minutes, the whole thing. But then you do 3 or 4 and you just chop it into pieces.
Yeah.
And you're just recording, like, you can cut out all that interim bullshit. And if something funny happens, you know, like you drop a goddamn swarm on their head or whatever, then you still have that.
Yeah.
And you just chop it in with transitions, and it's, you know, you don't have to
be linear.
You don't have to be linear in a story game.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And survival games will always be, there is linear progression, whether it's Minecraft, 7 Days to Die, V Rising, Valheim, any of those like survival, sandbox, crafting, open world type games. There's always a linear progression in terms of story if you want to do that. But then there's also shit you could just do on the side. There, you know, there's farming, there's base building, there's, you know, shit like when we were in the 7 Days to Die server, it's like, I'd want to go out and I want to go scavenge. I want to go find areas. I want to, you know, find more materials. And one of the guys is like, I just want to be the house bitch. I'll plant the food. I'll make the food. I'll build the base. You guys just bring the materials. And it's like, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
And, you know, them going out is the worst thing in the world because their character, the mod we were playing, had like different classes or whatever. Theirs was the hippie. And the hippie gets a massive debuff being in combat.
Yeah.
Just because they're fucking so scared. Where it's like, I'm the sheriff. I start with a pistol. It's obviously like, yeah, cool. I don't really care because I have a gun and a baton and I am battle hardened. You know, that's what my character does.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, another character who's the thief who's really good at like breaking into places and picking locks and stealing shit. Where it's like, yeah, I can go loot, but I'm not going to be as good at like picking locks or, you know, stealthing around as the thief is.
No, that makes, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like in Minecraft, I am the house bitch where I love to set up the house. Like I was explaining to my manager about Minecraft because he's like, yeah, I've played a little bit with my kids, but I'm not into it. I just play Marvel Rivals right now and, you know, other games. And I was like, dude, this is how you set up your base so that you don't have to worry about anything anymore. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, go around, collect all the tall grass. You're gonna get wheat seeds out of that. Then all you have to do is just set up the wheat farm. Every 5 blocks going in every direction, water, 1 block of water will be good for all that growth. So just set it up to where you can grow, how you can maximize your wheat. Got your food done, then you go get the cows. Obviously, during that time, you've set up a tree line of wood where you can always get wood. You just replant the tree seeds and whatnot. And then after that, if you want to like even more maximize your base, go get kelp from the ocean, put it into the ground near your base, fill it up with water, fill up like a 5 by like 8, like into the ground like pool, fill it up with water, plant the kelp, and you'll be good. And then I just like explained all the different things that you can do to where like you don't have to worry about anything anymore. You could just go collect stuff and then you go back down to the mine and you go find your diamonds. I was playing with, you know, I was playing with my girlfriend and her friends last night, and I was going to collect diamonds and iron, and they kept asking me for stuff. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll go get it. I'll go down, found it,
Yeah.
go back up." And they're doing their own thing. They've set up the house how I asked them to, and if they want to go off and do other things, I don't care. Like it doesn't matter to me. If you need, you come back. There's gonna be food. Come back. There's gonna be stuff there for you to get. You know, books, enchanted books, whatnot. I'm starting to work on that stuff. And eventually I'm gonna get villagers so that we're all good. Like we don't have to. We can just use emerald that I'll have already stored up from selling various things. And then essentially it's whatever they want to do, how they want to collect things, how they want to set up the surrounding area, and so on and so forth. And to me, that's the fun. That's where you get really fun.
Yeah.
Everything up to that is fun for me, but once you get to the point where everything is automated, now the sky's the limit.
Yeah. See, you would enjoy like the again, same core concept of like whole like build base, go out, scavenge shit, come back, do it. It's just on a different, because Minecraft is more like, I wouldn't say dumbed down. It's more.
It is. It's a lot more simple.
It's a lot more simple.
Yeah.
But again, you can always, there's a lot of those games out there where it's like survival, crafting, base building, like the 7 Days to Die. It's like there's so much you can do, and even just in like vanilla. But then you go into like different mods that completely rework the fucking game.
I mean, like look at Power World, one of the latest like survival-esque games. Power World now there was so much. I'm getting to the end cap of the levels. Me and Juan Carlos need to finish, but it's essentially became almost like Minecraft.
Yeah,
and it's more developed in certain aspects where it makes it easier to automate certain things. And I'm like, this is insane. Like I wish certain other survival games kind of like followed this a little bit, but at the same time, this is just a new style of open world survival.
Yeah, and you start to get to that like I've been dumping hours upon hours into V Rising right now, which is literally just like the same thing but vampires, and there are bosses that you have to defeat that will get you like more shit, like more crafting recipes or like certain things. Like I literally, and there's like 5 to 7 different like areas of the map that are obviously like scalable to your level. One of the best mechanics I've ever seen in the game, and like whoever the developers of V Rising are so goated for this. So like in survival crafting base building games, when you need to move your base or want to move your base, it is the biggest fucking pain in the ass in the world, because you have to take things and totem and move them and all this other shit. What V Rising does, which every survival game should have this if it allows, like if it makes sense in the world, you build a castle, because obviously you're a vampire, and there's production, and there's sawmills and grinders and forges and all this other shit just to make all your stuff. They have a mechanic called a castle relocation. It's literally, you take the castle relocation, you go find a new place where you can put the castle, which are like designated areas around the map, so you're not just out in the middle of anywhere.
Hey, I gotta piss really quick.
Shit.
I don't want to end this, but
yeah. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking about V Rising. If you played,
taking you in here, we're going into the swamp. It's gonna get very weird really quick. Gotta let out little Willie. Mama said
he didn't take his
said if you
off.
wiggle it too much, you playing with it, boy. I told Mama, I'm just trying to get the pee out of my body.
He didn't take his microphone off.
Oh yeah. Little kids, you shouldn't be listening to this, whatever happens. Ain't nothing than letting out the bladder. Ain't nothing better than letting out the bladder. You notice there wasn't any wiggles? You didn't hear any wiggles. Be happy. And yes, I am washing my hands. I made commentary that whole time.
I was about to say, I was like, he didn't take his fucking microphone off.
I made Yeah, you'll have fun listening to that.
God.
Make a clip of that. I don't care.
Oh God, it's going to. Which the AI is going to catch it. But so there's the castle relocation where so like your castle runs off like it's like a blood fountain. You get blood essence and your castle survives by having blood pumped into it with this just 2x2 blood fountain that's anywhere in the area. Basically acts as like a land claim block. With the relocation heart, you can go to where there's like a place because they're designated areas where you can put it. And obviously they're different shaped and they're all different terrain, different areas. Well, what you can do is place down a relocation heart, and what I'll do is say, okay, well, here are all your materials from the old place. Place them now, and you can place them in a completely different configuration. It's just like, hey, you had 60 walls in your old base, 60 walls and 40 floors. 40 floor tiles or whatever. Rearrange whatever you want, and once you place everything that's essential, you can finish it, and then it'll basically move your castle to that new location in the new layout.
That sounds a lot like Clash of Clans. Like when you can clear your base if you want to, and you set your base like map 1, and then like you clear it out, and you can do number 2, and you can edit it and change it up how you want to.
Kind of, but base 1 then ceases to exist in V Rising when you do. But like that, doing that, like, because before I was dumping hours into 7 Days to Die into a rework mod, and it's like to move bases, that's a pain in the ass. You need a vehicle to move bases and move all your shit, and that base still exists. It's just all your shit's cleared out of it. This, if I don't like where my castle is, or you get further in the game, hey, I don't want to be in the entry level area when I'm later game. Obviously I want to be in the higher level area because I don't want to run back and forth on the horse or whatever. So you relocate it, and this is like, it's the greatest mechanic I've ever seen. It's like, this is for somebody with ADHD who always wants to constantly move and change shit around. It's phenomenal.
That sounds like fun. In Power World they introduced like a better box. No, I would say it's like a what is it? Like just like a computer station. You go in there and you can, whatever objects you put in there, they can be used in every single base.
So that's how V Rising is too. They have
like Skulker boxes almost.
They have a treasury flooring. So whatever you put in the enclosed room with the treasury flooring can be used anywhere in your base.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And then obviously like there are different floorings for different areas. Like, oh, you have forge flooring, so now your forges work better when they're in an enclosed room with this flooring. Or
and that's and essentially in Power World you can, if you get certain types of pals that are better at like making iron or burning iron or collecting it, in certain areas, or I mean not certain areas, in certain pals they have these different capabilities. So it's the same thing essentially. That's
it seems like there's a lot of like similarities too, because you can take prisoners, and obviously since you're a vampire you need blood. Well, different blood gives you different buffs. So like you would dig on it probably. I would assume, like, and they just came out with update 1.1, so like a big old huge update, a big old skyrocket in players again. And you can do like, there's no need to be able to play, like you don't need to play with friends. Like I literally have been the only one playing this, and I'm probably over 100 hours already. And I got it a couple weeks ago, but like there's bosses, like I said, so there is that linear progression, and I think what catches me the most about it is it's a mixture of like the survival crafting games that I like and Diablo 2. Because the combat and like the asymmetric style, like the top down kind of whatever it is, 60-degree angle view is like reminiscent of the Diablo games. And obviously you have like abilities and different weapons that do different things, and
the vampire scene is always like since medieval, right? That style has always been one of my favorite styles.
You'd probably you should get the game, Richard. Well, and that's the best part too. Is like if you want to play single player, you can play single player.
If you can play with friends,
you can play with friends. You can have your own server, or even you can rent a server for a lot of those. So like, because obviously if we were to play in like we're on my server where I'm so fucking far ahead, But the difference is like, okay, well, when I'm offline, obviously schedules don't fully line up. This, if I'm offline, the server doesn't go offline.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're online,
It's like Minecraft with
Yeah.
the realms.
but
Yeah.
then also you can have it to where it's like, okay, well, the server knows nobody's online, so the server's going to pause until somebody wants to get on.
Yeah.
So like shit just doesn't randomly decay over time.
Yeah. Have you had any funny comments since the last time we posted?
No,
you
nothing
haven't seen
yet.
anything?
No. No, everything's going pretty solid. Like I'm seeing a slow rise in YouTube and a lot of the stuff. In terms of the podcast, we haven't done it in like
Wow,
over a
no.
month, so it's kind of like, oh, people forgot about us for a second.
That's okay.
And I'm not that far into One Piece.
I'm not gonna push anybody else.
I just got done with the first battle too,
Which one?
where he's facing
I
forget his fucking name,
Captain Axan Morgan.
the clown.
Oh, the clown Buggy.
Buggy, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
It's always funny to me, like especially with Zoro, just talking with the sword in his mouth. I'm like, all right, this motherfucker, this guy fucks.
This guy's different.
This guy
man.
fucks. He's
This
built
guy's
different.
He's an aura farmer. He's essentially the Sasuke of the where he's just like low talk, like
Mhm.
all about business, works off of pride and hard work. Yeah. I mean, you get a little bit of everything from everybody. People who are Sanji fans are constantly battling with Zoro fans because they want Sanji to have that same aura, that same kind of like, I guess, like flow that Zoro does, and they get mad when like people are like, "Oh yeah, Zoro's stronger than Sanji," or like Zoro just does better stuff than Sanji. And it's like they're two different characters, man. You can't compare. Like people can sit there and argue that like Zoro is a lot more like, how do I put it? He stands on business more than Luffy because Luffy's just so joking, but Luffy will scrap with anybody. He's not gonna sit there and get offended by someone. Like one of his earlier like character developments is that he saw. Oh, you saw it. I'm pretty sure. What's his name? Those bandits knock the booze into Shanks, and Shanks starts laughing.
Oh yeah.
And it's he has that same mentality now. He knows that he doesn't need to get fucking like mad over it.
Well, and then it's like you get the button pushing where he fucks up his hat and he's like, "You motherfucker!" Like,
yeah, and then he stands on
like fuck around and find out.
And
Yeah.
he gets serious.
Yep.
He stops being so joking.
What I found fucking hilarious is Nami sitting there and she's like, "I fucking hate pirates. Fuck you guys. I'm never gonna be part of a pirate crew." And then she sees the whole like straw hat thing happen. And she's just like, "Hey, you know what? I'll be part of a pirate crew. Fuck it."
It gets
like, let me roll with
but
you.
it gets more in depth than that. A lot of people like to think that like One Piece is so joking that like nothing serious ever happens, but time and time again the author like shows different things that happen, not only to just the main characters but the side characters
Mhm.
that the main characters are either fighting for or fighting with, and it gets really deep, man. It gets like really dark really quick if you're not like if you're not expecting it. Like when you get to Nami, essentially Nami's arc,
Mhm.
and Luffy does what he does, if you don't cry, if you don't like it up until that point, and if you don't like the way that arc ends, then One Piece isn't for you. This is not what you're not gonna like it.
Well, even
And
still,
that's why I say if you get to like around 100, if you don't like it, you're never gonna like it. That's the arc in which catches most people.
Well, I like that they gave like the backstory, a little bit of the backstory too. Is like, oh, fucking what's his name actually knew Shanks, and it was Shanks' fault that this motherfucker actually swallowed the,
There's
the
more,
devil fruit.
There's more to it too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go and ruin it or anything like that, but there's more to their like rivalry than what it seems. And Buggy's character is just you once you get into the middle of the anime and he comes back and you're like, this is fucking hilarious. This is cool. And you get to see his interactions with certain characters and stuff like that. You come to realize that his character isn't meant to be like this evil, sadistic, like just enemy.
Mhm.
There's more to him. and he becomes a little bit more redeeming, and then he becomes this. You're like, oh, he's going with the flow, and nobody's noticing that who he really is. Like he's just a normal guy. Like yeah, he has a devil fruit, but he's not like he's not meant to sit there and stand on business like Zoro or Shanks or anybody like that.
Yeah.
He's just a funny character, and he just gets lucky in certain aspects of what happens. And I like that. Like Usopp is just a normal human being comparatively to the people that are on the ship with him. He's technically not Spence. He's not. He doesn't have a you just wouldn't expect a normal human being to be on that ship like that.
Yeah.
And that's his character though. That's what the author is. He's like he wants to become strongfully willed, but he's just a normal guy who's just doing with these non-normal people. It's like picking up, I don't know, like just an average basketball player, and you have a group of Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and you're sitting there like, yeah, I just passed the ball good, and that's what you're doing, right? But you're along with all these great people, and you're like, oh, this is crazy. I mean, that it's just as simplistic as it is. That's what he is for the whole story. He gets his moments and shines, and he's not meant to be anything like crazy. But it's just the contrast between him and all the other characters. It's like, wow, that's crazy that he's still on the ship. That you guys still treat him as a crewmate. You guys still treat him as part of the like that he's actually a piece of this puzzle. Where like throughout the whole story, if he was like that on any other ship, he would be either killed or he's just there to like do like the low maintenance crap. Like he wouldn't be useful in anybody else's crew, but he's useful for them. It's just the intricacies of how the story's written like that. I really like, and then you get like you'll find other characters that come in later, but they were like a side character to an arc, and you never expected them to really join the crew, but they end up joining the crew, and they already had a name for themselves. They already were represented in some way by another pirate group. And when people find out that he joins their group, they're like, oh, what else do they have on their team? Like they're already really strong.
Yeah.
It's insane. And he doesn't even become top 3. Like there's like levels to it. Now, like where the story's at, people are having a hard time like adjusting that they are at a level towards the end of the story, and they are like high up there in the food chain. So it's hard to find other enemies that are gonna give them an actual like run for their money. It essentially like they fought against someone that their whole crew almost got killed by, and Luffy being the captain is like hey, like remember last time how weak we were? Yeah, it's not the same anymore. And not that he like obliterates him or anything, but he stands on business with him, and he's not running away. This time he's not identifying this person as someone unbeatable. He's like, okay, like you got me last time, I'll give you that, but sorry, buddy, it's changed.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, fuck around and find out. And it's beautiful to see, because you're like, the progression, I don't know, man. It's a great one. Another funny like side little anime you should watch if you just want to sit there and listen to something. Shadow of Eminence. It's on Hulu. It has fan service up the woods was if you're into that. But it's just a funny little like isekai TV show where this guy, he wanted to essentially be so strong in a normal life that he could take on an atomic bomb and still survive. But he's in normal life and there's no magic and there's no nothings, and he ends up getting killed, and then he gets put into this world where magic is a thing, and he becomes a bandit slayer for fun, and he's able to, as a young kid, be able to like essentially work magic no one has ever seen the way he has been able to do it. And he saves people and creates this little like I guess like a organization that goes and kills like the bad people in the world,
Hmm.
and it's just funny. It's just like it's a good like show. He's essentially like OP as hell, but at the same time, he's not sitting there trying to like flex on everybody. He actually inserts himself as side character A to everything. So he goes to school with his sister that's a lot more better than him at everything, at least at face value. And he just sits there as like the side character, and he only wants to be that in the for everybody else to see. But he has an alter ego being Shadow, and he's like unbeatable. So he goes and like helps out like the royalty family and make sure that everybody doesn't get killed essentially, and he helps people as he goes, not because he wants the fame or fortune, but because he wants to do the right thing, and he wants to work the world the way he sees it. And there's like a cult called the Cult of Diablos that he's essentially just fighting the whole time through the story. But yeah, that's like a nice little one that I was been watching. They put out a new season on Hulu, and I would suggest it just because it's like I said, you don't have to sit there and like it's not detail oriented as much, and there's a story to it, and he's like sitting there like playing two sides to it.
Hmm.
But it's not like something like super refined and detailed. It's just right to like I like to sit there and play Pokemon Soul Silver again, and then just like watch it on my tablet. It just scratches that itch for me.
That ADHD itch that you can just
yeah.
have two things going at once.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's fair.
I think it's a nice little anime. It's not gonna be like anime of the year or anything like that, but it's still gonna be good in my book. Yeah.
I got a big old watch list on Crunchyroll that I need to
Start
get
knocking
through.
out.
There's so much, even my manga, man. I can't get through all of it. Like if I'm interested in it, I will. But just like there's so much shit I haven't started or I've stopped at. Or
Yeah, I mean I'm the same way with like video games. Like
Mhm.
I haven't I made my character for Oblivion Remastered. I haven't touched it since.
Dude,
Nothing against it. Nothing against it.
Yeah, I escaped the prison. I went to a few places that I remember to get really good armor, and then I'm just like, okay, on to the next. Well, like not on to the next, but like I haven't gone back to it. Like I said, I've been dumping hours into V Rising. I played like 45 minutes of Doom Dark Ages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was watching John play though.
Which it's cool. Like the concept's cool, but it's just like this is the same, and glory kills aren't the same as like Doom Eternal. I'm so pissed off.
That's what he said.
I was literally like, dude, I just want to go back to ripping a spine out of a demon's asshole. And it's like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and shield bash or punch him. Like this is no fun.
Yeah.
Like apparently there are.
Yeah, he said that
but they're just like they're so few and far between. It's like okay, this is kind of like. Now I see why. The concept's there, but the core like vision of Doom is gone. It's more of just like, hey, look, you're Doom guy, but in medieval times. It's like, well, I want the shit where I'm gonna zoom forward to him, stick both hands in their chest cavity, and fucking rip them in two. Like, where is that?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just gonna shield bash them and they're gonna explode. It's like that's kind of a cop out.
Yeah.
That's not the Doom we enjoy.
That you know what that is? That's some executive wanting more bang for his buck.
God, for real.
That's what that is. And that's what sucks, man. That's when like you like the Assassin's Creed games where like, okay, now we're just gonna money grab and throw out these like these different like
they're just time period.
Different time periods that are now getting much more fame than they were before. Like when they did the Nordic thing, like that, I think that's a lot of peak of like Norse mythology that had like TV shows out.
Yeah, no, Vikings was huge at that time.
Yeah,
on TV.
And I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey and I didn't finish it, but I like was playing it and I heard a lot about the mechanics of Valhalla, and I was like, that doesn't sound like a fun game. That doesn't sound like Assassin's Creed, like how I like it.
No, but popular culture will affect gaming so fucking much too.
The Japanese scene now, and then they put out that game, and then everyone's like, oh, you can be that black ninja from back in the day,
black samurai, and everyone's losing their goddamn mind.
And that he's gay, and it's like yeah, that's what happens when you become so greedy that you're like, let's not put out a good game, let's put out a culture of a game that will suck people in, but doesn't give you actual value to.
Well, yeah, and then you have like people who are pissed off because like this is not This is not what we expected. You have this because the build for Doom Dark Ages was so huge. Everyone's like, sick, another Doom game. This time we're going medieval. This is going to be rad. And it's just like, this feels like a copy paste with different world around it.
Yeah.
This feels like Doom Eternal, just in medieval times.
Yeah.
Like, yes, cool. There's story, there's lore, there's how it happened, there's how, you know, Doomslayer hunted these motherfuckers into extinction. But it's just like, it fell flat.
Yeah.
You know, in Assassin's Creed, everyone was losing their mind, like, oh yeah, you can be the Black Samurai who's actually based off a real Black Samurai back in the day. And it's just like, I never touched it.
Yeah.
Like, I like the concept, but it's all gets to be the same at one point. I like Valhalla because I enjoy Vikings. Like, that's a big freaking thing. Like, it's really cool to see Norse mythology and everything, but it's just like, it starts to become so repetitive to a point where you're just like, holy fuck, this is, you know, we're going to the Call of Duty thing where it's like the same thing over and over, just reskinned.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a money grab again. And it's, what can we do? God forbid what's going to happen this year in September, October for the next Call of Duty.
Well, because of just like everything that's happening.
Where do you go from here?
Yeah, I mean, look, like,
you go back to World War II, they're like, oh, you go to Vietnam, they're like, that's, you know, like, you can't, well, you go into the future of Black Ops, you've done that multiple times. There's not much else you can do.
They're going to put out something that, one of their biggest things for this last Black Ops was like they worked 5 years to make it, and I go, okay, let's see the mechanics on it. The mechanics, I like them, as far as like sliding and jumping, and like the different ways you can do it and how you can cancel out animation to be able to shoot faster. But then I'm playing it and I'm like, you know, I've gone to the point where I like, whether I'm in using assault rifles or tactical rifles or submachine guns or pistols, and it just dumbs down to how can the person shoot faster than I can, and how can I stop that? That's all the game comes down to now. So like, I get to these games where these people are running the Mac. They're like the really fast submachine guns, the really quickest ones that you can start shooting faster, and that's what it just dumbs down to.
Yeah.
So I go, okay, I'm getting tired of getting killed by this one guy because all he's doing is using some machine guns and just getting to me faster, rather than actually putting in like an actual I don't know, like a strategy to it. So then I just get the pump action shotgun, buff it out as best as I can for damage, and I'm sliding around just and people are getting mad at me, and I'm like, this is your fault. Like, I would rather use the first assault rifle that you get than level that up all the way to gold. But as soon as I start using it and I'm killing everybody, and then this one guy just keeps killing me, I'm just gonna resort to the shotgun because fuck you. Like, I'm getting annoyed by you.
Yeah.
Like, that's just as simple as it is. And then you get mad at me, and I'm like, well, this is your fault. You built a whole class on being able to shoot people faster than everybody else. You're learning the mechanics to be able to cancel animations, the fastest, the most, the best. It's so tiring. Like, just play the game for fun. If you're not good at the game and you're getting killed all the time, then try to find a strategy to be better in the game. Don't just go and look up a YouTube video on, this is the new best cracked out skin game for the pistol and the submachine gun, and this is how you can just kill and get like every nuke ever in all the different multiplayer classes in games. And I'm like, stop it. Just enjoy the game for what it is. Try to get better in your own way and be unique. Stop being like everybody else, because I'm gonna come around the corner with a shotgun and shoot you in the face first at point blank and it's just not going to be fair. It's not going to be fun. I don't find enjoyment in it. I really don't.
Yeah.
I'll go on and play with my girlfriend because her and her buddy's playing, and they want to play, and my buddy from Canada wants to play, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go play. I'll sit in there, and since I'm good at the game, like really good, the matchmaking sets to me.
Yeah.
And everybody else is having a hard time, and I'm sitting there getting play the kill by just shooting 4 people in a row with the pump action shotgun, because their whole team decides that they're going to either quick snipe or use that submachine gun that's the fastest. And sorry, buddy, I'm not going to let you win because you've looked up a YouTube video. I'm just going to do this based off of how I see the game.
Yeah. I honestly, I have not touched Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2. since the Modern
The
Modern
original?
Warfare 2, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that one.
The one that came out, what,
2019,
20,
2020, something
20
like that.
no, like 2022 or something.
Yeah.
It's been a couple years, and I honestly, like, I found my love for gaming again, going away from Call of Duty and like competitive type games, like, because there's just so much more out there.
There is.
In just substance and game quality.
There is.
And I feel kind of sorry for, like, because a lot of the guys at work are like, man, you gotta come play Call of Duty. It's like, no, dude, I did that.
Yeah.
I've experienced that. I've
Yeah.
sunk hours upon hours into Verdansk and the Warzone and
Yeah.
multiplayer. And
I won't
I've
even
gotten-
touch Warzone.
I've gotten guns to gold. I've gotten diamond camos. Like, I've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
It's not the same. And
Yeah.
again, it goes back to COVID fucking everything up.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be a competitive esports gamer because, I can slide around the corner and I can do this. And it's funny because my dad always mentions that, because he still plays it, but he plays it for fun. He's not trying to be the best top fucking
Yeah. I don't play
MVP.
ranked. I don't
He's
even,
not trying to do any of that.
I
And
could go into rank, bro, and I could probably do really good. Dude, I'm telling you, with a keyboard and mouse, I am disgusting on COD.
it's just funny though, because he's like, I don't understand why people are sliding around, jumping around. He goes, I'll just sit and wait in a corner for them, and they get mad at me for waiting in a corner when they're sitting there diving and sprinting and sliding. I was like, that's what Call of Duty is now, Dad. It's not.
When I play hardcore, bro, which is essentially ranked, but
Yeah.
you like certain guns aren't banned. I literally just use a pistol.
Yeah.
I don't use anything else but a pistol. So if I went into ranked, I'd be just using a pistol.
Mhm.
And people are going to get pissed off that I'm killing them faster than they are trying to kill me by using a pistol and walking around slowly everywhere. Like, I'll rush in on certain aspects.
It's funny because they get so pissed that you're not playing the way they expect you to play. So it
Yeah.
throws off their game, because they're expecting, if I slide and jump around this corner, there's going to be somebody right there who's going to slide and jump as well. And they're going to be all squirrely, and you're just going to be like, meh,
Yeah.
and get them.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro? You're cheating. No, you're just being a dumbass.
Yeah, and then they try to catch on to the way you play, and then you just change up like the different ways you go around
Yeah.
things. It's just so funny to me. Like, it's all like a mind game, and everybody's just trying to win. And it's like, look, I get the aspect of winning is fun, and you're not. If you're not a winner, then you're a nobody. But it's like, hey, listen, man, these are video games. What are video games meant for? To be fun. So stop trying to make it like a business. Stop trying to make it like something
That's
that.
always what it is.
Yeah.
It's turned into a business, a competition, a fucking
Yeah.
pissing contest. Like,
Yeah,
well, look at me, I got 40 kills. Cool, you were never on the objective at all.
yeah.
You're like, yo, I don't give a
Yeah.
shit how many kills you got, bro. This was domination, and you have literally less than 5 seconds on point. Like,
yeah. It's just stupid.
no, I've been so far away from FPS games, like competitive FPS. My aim is atrocious now.
No, dude, like Marvel, bro. Like people, I'm hearing from Juan Carlos and John. Like, yeah, people in the community don't want to play healers anymore because everybody who's running DPS just sucks and they're just ruining the game.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, that's cool. I'm Groot, and I just walk in there and just play as Groot.
Dude,
you
that
know?
was the great. Like, when I was playing, I would always try to get like whatever the team ups or the teamworks or whatever.
Yeah,
So if there
yeah.
was a group, I'd be fucking Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
because that's the funnest shit ever, just sitting on his goddamn shoulders.
I find
Having
it
a hell of
fun
a time.
just going in there and being the tank.
Yeah.
Because it's like all I have to do, and I'm not gonna sit there and try to kill the whole team.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna try to sit there and make sure anybody who's getting on point is getting fucked up.
Well, it's funny too, because a lot of those characters like translate to Overwatch characters.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that
They're the same. It's just Marvel skins. That's all it is.
yeah, you can't tell me that Scarlet Witch isn't fucking Moira from Overwatch with the fucking
Yeah.
healing and damaging suck beam.
Yeah, and you don't. You don't have to point. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually point at the people. You just do it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I that's why I won't play the ranked version of that game.
Yeah.
Because I'm just gonna sit there and start getting mad when it's like you just play the game for fun.
Yeah,
Just
no.
play the game for fun. I don't even care about the skins. That's how like when Juan Carlos asked me the other day, we had been playing for like a couple hours. He's like, did you have fun? I was like, yeah, it was okay time. And he's like, what do you mean okay? And I'm like, it wasn't like the best. Like, I'm not saying that I didn't like not enjoy it, but at the same time, it's Overwatch, bro. Like,
It's funny though because
I have a fun time like when we're like going back and forth with the team. I don't have a fun time just winning all the time.
if you play on computer, you can put mods on it, like just skin mods, so you see them different.
Yeah,
There's one
I know.
that I downloaded.
What?
It turns Bucky Barnes into CJ from San Andreas. And then there's one that turns Punisher into Big Smoke. It is the greatest thing ever.
I thought you were gonna talk about Emma Frost for a second.
Oh,
Skin
yes.
mods with that.
I mean, there's that other Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, yeah. God damn.
But I was thinking, I was like, dude, there's so many like similar. You can't tell me Squirrel Girl isn't just Junkrat.
Yeah.
That fucking
Yeah, that's what she is.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
they're
just Marvel skins
Marvel
on Overwatch.
skins.
That's all. I mean, Hawkeye to what's his name?
fucking Hanzo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's. I'm sitting there like it's just Marvel. It's just Overwatch with Marvel skins, guys. Like
Overwatch rivals. Fucking
It is.
Marvel Overwatch.
it really just is that, and people are like getting mad and like, no, man, it's different. It's good. And I'm like,
No.
wasn't there like a time and point in Overwatch where people were getting pissed off at the community because everybody wanted to roll DPS and nobody wanted to be a healer?
Yep.
It just sounds like something that's happening right now. Like
Yeah.
come on, man. Let's just call it what it is. Just be happy that it's free. That's the only thing that you can say. Like, it's free, so don't get mad at the game.
Yep.
You don't have to buy it. People are just crazy, man.
Freaking ridiculous. Oh, damn.
Yeah, that was good.
That was like hour 45. That was the longest book. Almost 2 hours. Well, granted, we haven't done it in like a month, but still.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. Till the next episode,
Bye.
whenever that may be. No, I'm kidding. Just make it chopped into 2 episodes. I don't know.
We'll see.
Who knows?
I'll be back tomorrow. Next week. On Thursday.
We'll be back tomorrow.